Check it out. Co-powered by the new Nissan Terrano. Smarter, bolder.
Welcome to our Blast from the Past special on Tech It Out.
In this very special episode, we celebrate technology that time forgot.
Whether you love vinyl records or Super Mario.
Whether you miss your old Nokia phones or those instant Polaroid cameras.
Whether you think Sejal's mustache is more ridiculous than him.
Whatever it may be, please do join us as we take you on a trip down memory lane. I see you went off script there, just a little bit.
Just a little bit, but totally worth it.
In this week's vintage episode, Trishala visits the oldest gramophone store in Delhi. Sejal gets her Polaroid groove on. Stay tuned.
Well, I thought it would go very well with the theme of our episode. It's a very 1970s.
Yeah. You know what? On my CV, there's a column on skill set.
Right.
One of the first bullet points on that says...
Shouldn't lie.
No, eye for detail. And you've had this mustache for the last 2 weeks and it's got nothing to do with the theme.
Okay, look, if you're done being fascinated by my facial hair, which is very awesome, I know, can we please focus on the task at hand?
Right, so we begin our Blast from the Past special by taking a look at vinyl records and what they meant to people who grew up with them.
That's right, after years of decline caused by CDs, downloads and streaming, the sales of vinyl records has gone back to what it used to be 30 years ago.
Trishala visited one of the oldest vinyl stores in Delhi to find out why these vintage records still hold such a special place in people's hearts. Take a look.
Now, a lot has changed in the way we listen to music. From streaming to digital downloading, it's become a lot more convenient for a person who's a music fan. But convenience isn't really everything. Now, the sales globally for vinyl records has gone up to more than 50% this year. Yes, the hottest way to listen music in 1917 is also one of the hottest ways to listen music in 2017. So here I am visiting the oldest gramophone house at Chandni Chowk in Delhi to understand why people are still in love with the good old vinyl. Come, let's go find this place out. Chandni Chowk. One just can't help but fall in love with it. Be its bustling streets or loud market vendors or endless labyrinth of alleys, the atmosphere here is always electrifying. But in this perpetual sea of chaos, there is a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. And it's called the New Gramophone House. But in Chandni Chowk, appearances are deceptive. Because when you reach the large New Gramophone House sign, all you find is a shoe and a chappal shop. Okay, so I'm finally here at the New Gramophone House. It has an amazing wall-to-wall collection of old vinyl records. It repairs old gramophones and also take orders to make newer records. I'm actually quite excited to visit this place. As you enter the tiny store, you're instantly hit by a tsunami of nostalgia. Cooped up in this claustrophobic room lies a treasure trove of vintage music. It's an antique collector's paradise, a music connoisseur's ultimate hunt, and a history hunter's dream find. The walls are lined with shelf after shelf of stacked records. From Michael Jackson to Stevie Wonder, from classical rock to Indian classical, it has over 2 lakh records, mostly vinyls. They're priced from anywhere between 200 and 5,000 rupees, depending obviously on the condition of the record. Now, apart from selling records, they also repair old gramophones if you still possess one, that is.
This store is since before my birth, so I've never seen or thought of something else. It was started in 1930 by my grandfather in Lahore, Pakistan, and after 1947 it was migrated to here. Since then we are over here.
It would probably take you an entire lifetime to rummage through this mega collection, but as you gaze upon the neatly stacked relics, rare records that predate audio cassettes and CDs by over a century, it makes you think, how does one manage to keep a check on stocks?
It's not easy work. It's a big, very big collection. So we have to manage that. Earlier we used to keep what is the current selling, but now we are keeping the complete catalog from the starting of the manufacturing of the records. So we have a much bigger collection now. We have assorted by all the categories and all the languages, and everything is listed on the website. So we have the details of each and every record.
For Anuj, Vinyls offer users familiar comforts that the digital age just can't. He believes after decades of living in the shadow of modern innovation, gramophone records are making waves again.
The people who want the physical, they are going towards vinyls. They are good in quality and long life. They are improving sound quality and it's long life. They are never damaged or destroyed. They are long life and the sound quality is still the best in these.
Interestingly, as CDs have become more or less extinct, vinyl records, oddly enough, have seen around 260% growth since 2009 and has actually experienced a hard time meeting the overwhelming demand. In 2015, more than 3 million LPs were sold, while in 2016, sales of vinyl reached a 25-year high as a consumer demand soared. Now, according to a report by the British phonographic industry, 2016 was also the 9th consecutive year that vinyl records hit a massive growth. Although vinyl sales only account for 5% of the album's market, they're becoming increasingly important sources of income for record labels and musicians. Now, a rise in sales was also marked after the death of some artists like David Bowie, where people bought vinyls as mementos. Now, some could argue that the demand of records is just another fad, and perhaps that's true. But for us here at Tech It Out, the return of vinyl represents something far greater than numbers and statistics. It represents progress. It represents buying music for the sound and not for convenience. And most importantly, it represents an exciting time to collect a technology that's more than a century old. The persistence of such things defies all logic of the digital age. I mean, there's something about holding a record in your hands. You can read the sleeve notes, you can look at pictures, you can hold your past in your hands and maybe future too. And you know what? It's just not same on a computer screen or any other music player.
I love that story, Sahil. And I have to say this, that I think we made a big mistake by thinking that the digital world would liberate us from all the burdens of physical objects. People totally forgot the super cool artwork, the love that went into making all of these products, which is a huge part of the joy.
Wow, yeah, no, very well said, you know, very thought-provoking, very intelligent, and I don't think that's ever happened on this show before.
What, that you agree with me or you think I'm intelligent?
Well, I'm gonna let you figure that one out on your own, but in the it's definitely not the latter, by the way. We're gonna take a very short break, but more blast from the past action after the break. Welcome back, you're watching Tech It Out on WION.
Now, before we went into the break, we showed you some vintage goodness with vinyl records. And now we are going to get even more nostalgic with another outdated, yet equally beloved piece of technology.
Yeah, I think she's talking about Polaroid cameras. You remember those big, bulky, printed out instant photos that you had to constantly shake? Ugh, so annoying, so annoying. You know what? You know what I say? I say good riddance to bad rubbish.
What are you even saying, man?
Dude, no one wants to shake their photos anymore. I mean, come on.
I disagree completely.
Okay, you disagree. You know, I love it when you disagree with me because usually then I get to prove a point.
Oh,
okay,
wow.
So let me just show you something. Let me show all of you something. This is really great. Yeah. So this, I don't know if you know about it. It's called a smartphone. Okay.
Now I use my Polaroid camera to make phone calls.
And these smartphones have this really awesome thing. It's called a camera.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
So what you do is you face it towards someone and then you just click. Done. No shaking required. See, instant photo. Right here on my phone.
Yeah, but I think you're missing a point out there.
Okay, come on. I think, let me just prove my point once more. And click.
Enough, Sahil.
Okay, one landscape. Just, you can also do landscape. That's what's so great about phones these days. Look, look, look. There you go, see? Okay, one from up high. And no.
Stop it.
No.
Stop it.
It's my phone.
Stop. Okay, so this is the story that I did about Polaroid cameras. Lots of nostalgia out there.
You know what else you can't do with Polaroid cameras? You can't upload the photos on Instagram.
You better not upload those on Instagram.
Yeah, it's already got like 30 likes, so...
Well, good for you, more followers. cool. After all, retro is cool, no? Well, I've been using this instant camera very happily for a while now. But I have to say this, that I'm not just yet ready to spend my money on this. Why? Because my phone camera clicks better photographs. Also, it's much cheaper to get better quality pictures printed these days. Then why this? Well, find out. Like to jump to conclusions. In fact, I would like to give this a fair try to decide whether this is worth our money or not. After all, the deep-seated love for retro in me wouldn't let me shun it off like this. Already flawed by the looks of it. The classic touch and retro finish have already managed to impress my vintage soul. What can I say? I'm a postmodern lover of all things vintage. But is that where my liking for this ends, or does this have more to involve me? Well, I've decided I'm going to put this to use in different environments and situations, and we'll find out whether this is worth our money or not. Here you go, a perfect vintage photograph of a perfect vintage gramophone. It's really nice. How do you like it?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Very vibrant colors.
Yeah.
You can keep this.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hey, Shivs, pose.
Oh.
So this is a photograph that I just clicked. Now, there's one thing common in all of these photographs. Whether I click them in the indoors or in the outdoors, the contrast and the sharpness of these photographs is pretty much the same. All of them have like a vintage filter on them. So if you thought this camera was just about click and snap, let me break that myth for you. This camera also comes with a few modes, maybe not as many as your phone camera might have, but there are modes still. So there's a party mode out here, there's a flash on and off, you can turn the flash on and off, and also if you want trippy photographs, there's a double exposure mode. Well, I've used, abused and reused this in order to reach a very fair conclusion. Now what I found out in all of these photographs produced by this camera is that all of them have a really nice vintage feel to it. But then again, when I think about it, Instagram has various vintage filters. There are a dozen apps available, photo editing apps that have various vintage filters. Then why do I need this? But then again, I think life's not always about taking rational decisions. It can't always be about how much can you use a product. Sometimes it also has to be about how using a product makes you feel. This is exactly where this instant camera hits the right string and scores all the brownie points. Ask yourselves, how many times do you go back to those photographs that you've clicked using your phone and take printouts of them? You have your answer. So all in all, I'd say if you have spare money to buy an instant camera, go for it. Take as many photographs as possible, spread them across your room, hang them, decorate them, and feel good about them every day. Well, this one's Fujifilm Instax Mini 19-year classic and costs about 12 grand. But there are cheaper options available in the market as well. So choose one according to your pocket.
Now we have a treat for all you gamers out there, especially for those of you who grew up with Super Mario.
That's right, Nintendo's mushroom-eating mascot has enjoyed a career of over 3 decades, which includes over 100 video games across a variety of systems and genres.
That being said, plenty of companies have tried to knock the hero from his perch with an army of clones.
Despite tough competition, Super Mario has weathered the storm and emerged victorious, even in the face of popular franchises like Call of Duty and Mass Effect.
On that note, let's take a look at some of the reasons why you loved, and for that matter, still love, Super Mario.
One of the best things Nintendo has ever produced.
My favorite game is Mario.
Seminal part of my childhood.
My whole summer vacations was all about Mario.
That was a routine, you know, coming back from school, taking off the bag and playing that game.
With the keyboard and the console, and it was amazing.
Mario used to be like in everybody's, like the CD cover which we used to have. The CD was always there. Like nobody in the world would have been there who hasn't played that game.
I remember like the first time I played it, and it's like, you know, you get to level 2, and then you go in that tube that takes you to like the 6th world, so you don't actually play most of the game. Kind of think about it. Yeah, no, it was excellent. Everything about it was great.
Remember those days when you would wait for school to get over so you could rush back home and help little Super Mario save Princess Peach? Do you remember the mushrooms that helped him double in size? Or the fire flower that helped him shoot fireballs? And finally, the battle with Turtle King Koopa to win Princess Peach. And the iconic theme track?
Dun, 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 dun. Something like that, yeah.
I love the concept of the game, and plus the challenges that you only have so limited number of lives and you have to, you know, cross every level one by one and reach to the princess.
I think the music and the way he jumped and, you know, sort of things popped and then sort of things went back to their position.
Simple graphics, great story. Going into the tunnel and you don't know where you're gonna reach.
I don't even remember like saving the princess ever. I never reached that point.
I managed to reach the big castle, and there were a lot of fireworks, and it was really fun to see. Actually, I waited for the fireworks.
50 times I could reach the princess.
Right, we're going to take a very short break on our Blast from the Past special here on Tech It Out.
But when we come back, we'll walk a little further down memory lane. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, and thanks so much for staying with us here on Tech It Out. Now it's time to revisit this brand that all of us grew up with. I'm of course talking about the Nokia. Sahil, which is your most favorite thing about the Nokia phones?
Probably that addictive ringtone.
I know, right? Para-pum-pum, para-pum-pum, para-pum-pum-pum. Did you notice that at MWC during the press?
Yeah, but I don't think I asked for a demonstration, but thank you for that anyway. So what's your most favorite thing about Nokia?
I have to say the Snakes game. I had the colored one on the 6600. Loved it. I've also played the black and white version on the 1100, the truck phone. Yeah. And of course, all the destruction that a Nokia phone was abused with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Indestructible, absolutely.
You know, you talk about being indestructible. Once my phone survived an entire washing machine cycle. Took it out, just dried it, and it was working absolutely fine.
Use your mom's hairdryer.
Absolutely.
I've done that too. And mine survived like a three floor fall as well.
Wow, insane.
But do you think the 3310 that we saw at the MWC this year is going to save Nokia's fortunes?
I hope it will, I really do, but I doubt it will because, for me, Nokia is like a grandparent, It came, it did its part, then it departed and left behind a lasting legacy, right? And you know what? That's exactly what we're celebrating here, Nokia's legacy. Take a look.
For most of us, our first phone was a Nokia. But what made our beloved Nokia phones so special?
Which was your first phone?
My first phone was a Nokia.
Nokia 6600.
Nokia Music Express 5130.
Why did you choose Nokia?
Well, it was affordable, it had a great battery life, and at that time it could store more than 100 messages or SMS, which was a great feature to have.
I think at that time that was the fanciest phone that was there, and I loved it for the design and the features that it had, and of course the Snake game. That was my favorite.
The battery life was amazing, but I guess it was a really awesome phone. You just need to charge it once and the phone can go on for 3-4 days.
Whether we let our Nokia phone slip through our butterfingers from the 3rd floor of a building, or washed it under a tap, dropped it in a bucket, or well, elsewhere, and then dried it with our mum's hair dryer, our beloved Nokia phones always had our backs, sturdy and durable. These phones were a boon for all those of us who couldn't go even a few minutes without dropping stuff, mostly our phones, and of course, those of us with anger issues. And then the indestructible battery life. Our Nokia phones give us a battery life up to 260 hours, which roughly calculates into a whole 10 days. This year at the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona, the iconic Nokia 3310 made a comeback as a modern-day classic. The new Nokia 3310 comes with a modern-day makeover with curvy edges and is thinner, smaller, lighter and priced at $52. The new kid on the block will be released in 4 fresh colors: warm red and yellow in a glossy finish, and a dark blue and grey variant in matte, closer to the blue and grey variants from the 2000s. Just like its predecessor, the new Nokia 3310 has a 2.4-inch screen and a smaller user interface. But the modern variant boasts of a 2-megapixel camera and 16 MB of storage. And the new 3310 promises 30 days of standby time. Yes, you heard it right. 30 days of battery life as compared to the mere 10 days that the old 3310 came with. For everything new and different that the new 3310 comes with, it's still just a feature phone without the Android platform and modern-day apps like WhatsApp, Snapchat and Instagram. The phone offers basic web surfing via the Opera Mini browser. But the 2 constants that we remain the most excited about are the iconic Nokia ringtone and the classic game of snakes in a modern-day avatar, just to play on that nostalgia.
We're pleased to say that the beloved Snake game is back.
I don't know if I'll buy it. I would like to see the device first. It could be a good second device to have, considering it also has 2G internet and it's a durable phone, has a long battery life.
Definitely I'll have to. I'm really looking forward to it. I'd want to sort of try it and see what features it has.
I may not, because obviously we need apps in today's time. We can't do without apps or a smartphone. So I doubt if I'm gonna buy it.
To get your hands on the 3310, you'll have to wait until the 2nd quarter of the year. But if you're too used to the modern-day comfort of your smartphones and just a feature phone like the 3310 doesn't just cut it for you, then Nokia has something in store for you too. The Nokia 3, 5 and 6. Making its debut at the Mobile World Congress 2017, the Nokia 6 comes with a 5.5-inch Full HD screen, Dolby Atmos sound and a 16-megapixel camera. The Nokia 5, not far behind, comes with a 5.2-inch high-definition display, 13MP camera and a fingerprint sensor. And the Nokia 3 with a 5-inch display comes with an 8MP camera. How this new Nokia and Android collaboration fares in the market, only time will tell. But we for sure cannot wait to get our hands on these handsets, just for the sake of nostalgia.
Well, that's it for this episode of Tech It Out. We really hope you enjoyed all that nostalgia that we gave you, and well, I think that's about it really. We run out of ideas, we run out of stories, so yeah.
But I certainly enjoyed this episode too much. Better than the Star Wars episode idea.
Oh, we still haven't done that. Next week, we promise you.
Next week, do come back. Star Wars. Next week, same time. You can also reach us out on Facebook and Twitter at @WION_TechItOut is our Twitter handle. We'll see you same time next week.
Thank you for watching.
Check it out. Co-powered by the new Nissan Terrano. Smarter, bolder.